conversations. Happy to continue to work not only with your office but with committee staff as well to be able to identify the challenges that exist. As we all know, governance oftentimes requires much of the decision-making process to say, how do we adequately address some of these issues to not take from one to pay for another. And so engaging in those conversations, I think, is important, number one. Number two, having the policy discussions about identifying and addressing this issue of the intent of the bill to try and get to that 75-25% ratio in this policy committee. In addition, as you well know, the fiscal committee, and whether the conversation appropriations is also appropriate. So having said that, I think there are additional opportunities to have conversation with identifying the concerns and addressing them appropriately, and happy to work with your office and other stakeholders as well.
I'd appreciate that, and that would satisfy me for today as, I guess, a work in progress.
Ms. Baker?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I echo our good colleagues' concerns about where the funding is coming from. And that is a fund that, although it will go to appropriations and be a fiscal discussion, this is higher ed. And in my local community colleges, they rely and are doing very well with how they are using the SSSP. So today, I will be withholding support, very much looking forward to other solutions that you will be exploring and happy to engage in those conversations. I know you'll be diligent about that, but I just am very concerned about where this funding is coming from. I also found that some of the points that were raised about perhaps meeting students, having to meet them in awkward places because there isn't the facilities, to me, that isn't yet a compelling case for why to go for these funds. If the community college can make a temporary office space available to part-time faculty and otherwise, those are solutions. I'd like to make sure we allow the flexibility to our community colleges to do that. So I will be withholding support for today, but I do look forward to seeing where this goes and hope there will be an opportunity to support the ultimate goal as long as it has that flexibility for our locals. Thank you.
Mr. Harper.
Thank you. In terms of decisions being made by the locally elected school boards for each various community college district, if you can, please help illuminate why, should the full-time, part-time ratio be determined by the locally elected school district board of trustees and its implementation rather than the state of California?
Sure. Well, allow me for more technical answers specifically from Mr. Lightman here as well, but certainly the Board of Governors has set this standard for us to try and achieve, and so this is certainly a vehicle to try and address this issue at hand as well. In addition to engaging with the stakeholders on the local, you're essentially talking about whether or not local control.
Well, not only that, but sometimes you have goals that may seem like they're appropriate for most college districts, but the availability or workability in terms of implementation of full-time versus part-time faculty may not work with some districts. While in a suburban district or an urban district, you may have a very large talent pool that's available, but in some districts you might not.
Jonathan Lightman, on behalf of the Faculty Association of California Community Colleges. Thank you, Assemblymember Harper, for your question. So the way the goal reads is the 75% is actually a system goal. It's contemplated, particularly in some of the rural districts, that there may be some difficulty in achieving that. And now what we are discussing is the percent of instruction as compared to the percent of instructors. So we're not expecting to have 75% of instructors be full-time. But the system goal is that across the state, if you're a student, you should have a 3 out of 4 chance of interacting with a full-time faculty member. And so that there is some room that's built in. Unfortunately, as the Assembly member mentioned, right now we're stuck at about 56%, which presents an incredible hardship for departments to function. And it's also unfair to students who don't have that opportunity to interact with faculty members who are there and able to meet with them and are vested in the full-time work of the campus.
Any other questions or comments from the committee? Being a former part-time faculty at the community college at I think 3 different community colleges, I know what part-time faculty go through, freeway flyers and what it is not to have office or not to have office hours. And as a trustee, I know that community colleges exist because of part-time faculty. They wouldn't exist if it wasn't for the part-time faculty, and that the law that is in place on the ratio exists only in violation. It is more ignored than anything else. And so at the community college level, my local community college faculties have been, in the last 2 weeks, talking to me how important it is to them at Riverside Community College, the ratio. So I thank the member for bringing this forward. I see it as an incentive. Community colleges can't address it if we don't give them a means, if we don't give them the resources to address it. And I would also point out that within the CSU system, also a concern of faculty, and that students deserve to have, as Mr. Lightman said, the chance of having more full-time faculty. So I very much thank the member for bringing it forward. If you'd like to close.
Thank you very much. And let me acknowledge and again demonstrate appreciation for the comments that have been made from my fellow committee members as well, because I think it certainly strengthens the argument and the legislation that we have at hand at addressing this issue that I know we all collectively care about. And I'm committed, absolutely committed to working with stakeholders and addressing these concerns. And with that, I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
We do. Do I have a motion? Moved by Ms. Weber, second by Mr. Jones Sawyer. The motion before us do pass to the Appropriations Committee. Madam Secretary.
Medina?
Aye.
Medina, aye. Baker? No. Baker, no. Bloom? Chavez? Aye. Chavez, Bloom, aye. Sorry. Chavez? Harper? No. Harper, no. Irwin? Aye. Irwin, aye. Jones Sawyer? Aye. Jones Sawyer, aye. Levine? Linder? Lowe?
Aye.
Lowe, aye. Santiago? Weber? Aye. Weber, aye. Williams? Aye. Williams, aye.
Mr. Lowe, your measure passes 7-2. I'll keep it open for members to add on.
Thank you very much.
Next, item 4, Ms. Irwin.
Well, good afternoon, Chair Medina and fellow members. AB 770, I would like to start first by taking the committee's amendments. AB 770 addresses an issue that has been long a challenge to higher education and student success. Over 70% of our students entering community college are deemed unprepared for college-level work and are in need of remediation. These students must take multiple classes in order to begin college-level courses toward a degree. Data shows that regardless of incoming preparation level, the more semesters of required remediation, the less likely those students are to ever complete college-level courses. For example, in my district, success rates for Oxnard Community College students beginning in remedial classes are 27% for math and 34% for English. And I just want to point out that means that 27% of the kids that start in remedial classes never take a single college-level course. These numbers show that existing remedial offerings are failing our students and discouraging them from pursuit of their goals. Efforts in California aimed at increasing student completion have demonstrated the success of innovative ways to deliver English and mathematics remediation. In these pilot efforts, students' completion rates for college-level English courses more than doubled and are more than 4 times better for college-level mathematics in comparisons to students in traditional remediation. However, less than a third of community colleges offer such new approaches, and if they do, they are limited to 1 or 2 course sections and are not available to most students. AB 770 targets this lack of access by providing a financial incentive to community college districts to redesign their basic skills offerings. California students need this now. We cannot allow more dreams to be discarded because of the initial frustration of our existing basic skills programs. This bill outlines a proven model of success, and it is time for California to make this investment in the success of our young people. I'm here today with Jesse Ryan, Executive Vice President of the Campaign for College Opportunity, and Lulu Matu, a College of San Francisco student who transferred to Cal Berkeley. And hopefully you have all seen our long list of supporters from educational groups to business groups. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, committee members. Jesse Ryan with the Campaign for College Opportunity, a bipartisan statewide nonprofit of more than 12,000 business, education, and social justice partners who are dedicated to ensuring that the next generation of California students has an opportunity to both access and succeed in college in order to keep our workforce and economy strong. I'm proud to say that the Campaign for College Opportunity strongly believes that the single greatest lever for moving the needle on student success is addressing just this, addressing the way we deliver our remedial education at California community colleges. According to community college estimates, as Assemblymember Irwin shared, currently 70 to 90% of students entering a community college are not college ready. They are assessed as needing remediation in math or English or both. More troubling is that of these students, 60% will fail to complete their Gateway English course, and more than 2/3 will never complete college-level math, really hindering their ability to meet both their college and career aspirations, sometimes indefinitely. I could easily have been one of those statistics. As a low-income first-generation student that started my journey at California community colleges, I found myself at Sacramento City College, where I was quickly assessed and needing remediation, several levels of remedial education in math. I was dejected, but was fortunate enough to have a counselor look at my transcripts and place me directly into statistics with some wraparound remedial education support. So instead of becoming part of those 2/3 of students who will fail to complete college-level math, I actually became part of 7% of students that successfully transferred to a four-year university within 2 years. Fortunately, bright spots of redesigning remedial education exist and have yielded spectacular results, as Assemblymember Irwin shared earlier. But unless they are scaled, we know that the state is doomed to continuing to see a mass exodus of community college students across the state. AB 770, of which the Campaign for College Opportunity and the California EDGE Coalition are proud co-sponsors, creates a voluntary framework for colleges to redesign and shorten their remedial education sequences, and brings programs to scale for the benefit of all students across the state. AB 770 seeks to do several things to minimize the exit points on the path to student success by adopting assessment and placement tests that review multiple student readiness indicators, including grades in high school and input from counselors, by increasing placement of students directly into Gateway Math and English courses, such as myself, with supplemental remediation support, and by contextualizing and aligning remedial course content to better match industry and pathways to which the student is seeking to advance. We know that these strategies are exceedingly successful at retaining students and helping them reach their college goals. As Assemblymember Irwin shared, the statistics are staggering. Students who complete this remedial education redesign are more than twice as likely to complete college-level math, more than twice as likely to complete college-level English, more than 4 times as likely to complete college-level math. These are statistics that you can't argue with. We also know that bringing these programs to scale benefits both students and the state.
If I could ask the speaker to please
Sure.
close.
Simply shaving 1 semester off a student's remedial education pathway could save the state more than $300 million. And finally, I'd like to say, I don't think there's a better investment to make than investing in ensuring that we are helping to make sure that fewer students are falling out of our California community colleges. So we look forward to continuing to work with many of you and our various stakeholder groups to strengthen this bill as it moves forward. Thank you.
And remind that 2 speakers, 2 minutes.
Good afternoon, Chair Medina and members of the committee. My name is Lulu Matute. I am a recent San Francisco City College graduate and a prospective Cal Berkeley transfer for the upcoming fall semester. Now, after taking the placement test, I was among 70+% of City College students required to take remedial classes. New Student Counseling handed me an infographic that illustrated where I was and what I needed to do to transfer. To summarize, the graphic looked like a Chutes and Ladders game board. I was required to take a series of remedial classes for multiple semesters. This would have amounted to 3 years before stepping foot inside a transferable college course. As a first-generation high school graduate pursuing higher education, working multiple jobs and facing homelessness in one of the most expensive cities in the country, I didn't have the luxury of time. Thankfully, what I did have was an option, an alternative to remedial sequences and an unconventional pathway. After spending my first semester in a remedial math class, I decided to diverge from the recommended sequence. I opted out of playing Chutes and Ladders with my education and my future. Instead, I joined a one-year, two-course math bridge program focused on statistics. In retrospect, the stats pathway was far beyond margins of error and outliers. It was an opportunity for me to learn relevant math, to grow in my area of study, and to succeed in college. Regardless of placement test score, there's a high expectation for each and every student walking in that class. This expectation is accompanied with high level of support encouraged by the class design. The overwhelming majority of my cohort was able to successfully complete college-level math. Because I chose this alternative pathway, I was able to complete all transfer requirements from CCSF in exactly 2 years. I start my upper division courses, as I shared this fall. I think about my classmates from the first remedial course before discovering this pathway. Some of them are currently entangled in a web of remedial courses. Most dropped out as the semesters progressed, but none of them graduated with me. I'm grateful to have the opportunity to choose an alternative path to remediation, and today I ask for your support in creating multiple pathways for all California community college students like myself. Thank you kindly.
Thank you. Other witnesses in support, if you'd give your name and the organization you're with.
My name is Barbara Barron. I'm co-director of the California EDGE Coalition. We're a coalition of business, labor, social justice organizations. Our members range from California Manufacturing and Technology Association to the LA Chamber of Commerce to the AFL-CIO and other social justice groups. And we are a co-sponsor of this bill. Our members are deeply committed to the proposition that it is the best avenue for making quantum leaps in student success.
David Morse with the Academic Senate for California Community Colleges. We appreciate the intent of this bill and offer our support if the bill is amended to ensure a greater role for faculty in the grant process.
Good afternoon, Lizette Neverett on behalf of Community College League of California. I want to thank the Assemblywoman for a great bill that would really invest in much needed basic skills and professional development. We do have one minor amendment, which is to utilize the common assessment system, which will really streamline common assessment at all of our colleges and ensure that students aren't hindered their progress by having to reassess every time they go to a different college. So thank you.
Nicole Rice, California Manufacturers and Technology Association, also a member of the EDGE Coalition, and for the reasons previously stated, we are also in support.
Hi there, Lenicia Lopez. I'm a student at Sacramento City College, and I'm in great support of this bill. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Austin Jones. I'm also a student at City College of San Francisco, and will be transferring to Morehouse College in the fall, because my school gave me the opportunity to utilize these redesigned programs, and I am in strong support of this bill.
Mary Moyle with the Chancellor's Office for the Community Colleges, and we've had a couple of issues with the bill, which we've been in contact with the author's office on, but we do look forward to working with the author, and we urge an aye vote.
Andrea York on behalf of the Faculty Association of California Community Colleges, similarly in support and look forward to working with the author to fine-tune the bill as it moves forward.
Eileen Zong on behalf of the Mexican American Legal Defense and Education Fund in strong support of this bill.
Andrew Campbell, student trustee for the Yosemite Community College District and a senator for the Student Senate for California Community Colleges. I myself and the State Student Senate strongly support this bill.
Hi, Doug Dyerson, proud product of the community college system, and again, proudly support this bill.
My name is Laura Tapon, and I proudly support this bill. I'm a student of American River College. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kevin Brown. I'm a student at City College of San Francisco, and if it wasn't for acceleration, I wouldn't have had a chance to get accepted to UCLA, UC Davis, and UC Santa Barbara, and all these great universities of the University of California. So I'm in great support of this bill.
Good afternoon, Andrea DeVoe with TechNet. We are support if amended, working with the author, and look forward to moving to a full support. Thank you.
Any witnesses in opposition? Questions or comments from the committee? Ms. Weber.
Yes, Mr. Chair, and want to thank the author for bringing this bill forward. This bill is one of the Women's Caucus legislative agenda items, one of our priority bills, because as we talk about opportunities to lift individuals out of poverty, we know one of the greatest challenges lies in the fact that so many of our individuals, women and minorities, enter the community college in kind of a fashion that seems to never-ending saga with regards to getting through the basic skills and those kinds of things. And this gives us great hope that through this process and this opportunity that may exist in many colleges, students can complete it a reasonable amount of time and then move on with the rest of their lives. So we strongly support this bill and thank the author for bringing it forward, and I move approval of the bill.
Second. Mr. Harper? I also want to thank the author. At my community college, 85% of students came in not ready to do college-level English or math. And I know that as a teacher that teaching makes a difference, and the way you present material and you present the course can make a huge difference. I am very thankful that you're bringing this forward and think that we can find innovative ways to present and move students quicker so that they don't have to be playing the chutes and ladder game that your witness so well described. What remediation is when you're coming in and you're looking at 3 different remedial English classes before you can take college-level English. So I thank the author very much. We had a first by Ms. Weber, second by Mr. Jones-Sawyer. The motion before us is due pass as amended to the Appropriations Committee. Madam Secretary.
Medina?
Aye.
Medina, aye. Baker? Aye. Baker, aye. Bloom? Aye. Bloom, aye. Chavez? Harper?
Aye.
Harper, aye. Irwin?
Aye.
Irwin, aye. Jones-Sawyer? Aye. Jones-Sawyer, aye. Levine? Aye. Levine, aye. Linder? Lowe? Santiago? Weber?
Aye.
Weber, aye. Williams? Aye. Williams, aye.
9-0, your bill passes out of committee. I'll leave it open for absent members to add on.
Thank you.
Next, item number 6, Mr. Bloom.
Good afternoon, Chair and committee members. AB 801, or the Success for Homeless Youth in Higher Education Act, is a measure intended to assist homeless youth earn college degrees. Homeless youth encounter many challenges when pursuing a successful life, and the odds are against them. But those who make it to high school graduation and want to attend college to break the cycle of poverty they're in need our help. Homeless youth need more assistance than the average college student because they lack financial and often family support. AB 801 will help streamline access to assistance for homeless youth in a few different ways. The Act gives homeless youth priority enrollment in state universities and community colleges, something that is already available for foster youth, and authorizes homeless youth to serve under the Student Opportunity and Access Program. It also requires the designation of a single point of contact to assist homeless and foster youth, and mandates that community college financial aid training include information about homeless students. The Act requires schools to post public notice about financial assistance available to homeless and foster youth. And finally, the bill adds homeless youth who meet minimum academic requirements to the populations that are exempt from community college fees, and provides homeless youth under the age of 19 who currently reside in California with in-state tuition. And again, this is something that is already in place for foster youth.
Move the bill.
California has the highest rate of homeless youth in the nation and twice the rate of homeless students as is in the national average. It is essential that we address the needs of this population and help them access the education that will help them assure a brighter future. I want to thank the committee staff for their suggestions in the analysis. We are working on amendments addressing those suggestions. AB 801 will help some of our most needy students, and I urge you to vote aye. Joining me today are C.C. McDonald, a student who has experienced homelessness, and Rashida Crutchfield, Assistant Professor of the School of Social Work at CSU Long Beach, and one other person.
Hello. My name is Coradine McDonald, and I am 20 years old. I have two children, ages 6 and 1. I am a part-time college student and am employed part-time. I am also homeless and a resident of Tubman House, which is an 18-month transitional living program for homeless, pregnant, and parenting youth, ages 18 to 21 here in Sacramento. Being raised in a physically, emotionally, and mentally abusive single-parent home were factors that led to me becoming pregnant at the age of 14. At the age of 18, escaping repeated incidents of family violence, I found myself 5 months pregnant, and I was kicked out of my mother's house. I lived out of my car for nearly a week because I had nowhere to go and had to leave my 4-year-old son with other family until I was able to get into a shelter. The shelter provided a roof over our heads but offered limited support beyond that. I had no support with childcare but was required to seek employment. In order to search for jobs, I had to bring my son with me. Who will hire a 5-month pregnant single mom who brings her 4-year-old son with her to fill out job applications? Just struggling to survive, the last thing on my mind at that time was pursuing my lifelong goal of going to college and becoming a nurse and midwife. For over 2 months, yes, I had a temporary roof over my head, but with the clock ticking down on a 90-day maximum stay, it wasn't until I found Tubman that I was able to get in, and I found that there was a real path ahead to overcome my situation. I'm here today to ask for your support of AB 801, which prioritizes enrollment in college for homeless students and provides much-needed support to ensure they graduate from college. I'm fortunate to be a resident at Tubman House because their program provides so much support. I have a life coach whose support was so vital in helping me to navigate entering community college. Starting out in school, I had no idea about any of the steps it took to become enrolled in classes, apply for financial aid, or what resources were available to me as a young, homeless single parent. Having someone walk me through every step of the way helped a lot. However, when it came time to enroll for classes, it was discouraging because I could only get into one of the classes necessary for my major. The second semester was the same. With priority enrollment, I could have completed 24 units so far, as opposed to the 8 units I've completed. At this rate, I feel like accomplishing my end goal for a degree in nursing will take 3 times longer than necessary. In addition, Tubman House provides an on-site child care center. With childcare provided immediately, I was able to pursue my goals of a college education. They provided me with a part-time job and a paid internship in the field that I'm going to school for, and my kids are in a safe and loving environment. Without Tubman's support, I would still be waiting for a slot for my son in an early Head Start, since the college centers only serve kids ages 2 and older, and only specialized Head Starts serve kids under 3. I have only 4 months left in my stay at Tubman. I don't know what I will do once leaving Tubman, as the transition out of homelessness is highly dependent on stable housing and childcare. 30% of homeless female youth are parents. There are so many demands on your time. You can't take night or weekend classes because the childcare centers or bus lines are closed. You often have required appointments by WIC or CalWorks, or shelter programs or SSI, or required counseling. This makes it even more important for homeless students to get into classes that are needed and that work with their schedules. As a result, often many students will get pushed into online classes and do not do well.
Hello, my name is Rashida Crutchfield, and I'm an assistant professor professor at Cal State Long Beach in the School of Social Work, and my focus of research is with, and practice is with students who experience homelessness. As was said by Cordine so well, so many of our students are working as they're trying to get through college, and so having priority registration is so important. Mary, one of the students that I worked with, said very clearly that she had to find a job that would accommodate her course schedule, which made her choose between a minimum wage job that would maintain her poverty rather than a college education that would pull her out of poverty into adult self-sufficiency. So that priority registration is key for so many homeless students. Further, this specific point of contact on campus is so critical. As someone is looking to manage where to sleep at night, it's very hard to know how to facilitate the financial aid process or find the resources and support services that are available on campus. We as faculty and staff and administrators want to help homeless students, but are not trained to seek them and support them. Haley talked about going to financial aid and having a financial aid administrator not believe that she was homeless because that financial aid administrator really didn't believe that that existed. Haley was able to find a financial aid administrator who was specifically trained to support her, but she wasn't able to get her financial aid until December. At the end of the semester, when she had been working so hard all semester to get the financial aid she was clearly qualified for. Every dollar matters for these students, and every service matters, so having someone trained to support them is critical. Finally, the waiver of enrollment fees are also, every dollar matters. And so adding these homeless students or students who have experienced homelessness is critical. We know that homeless students are largely hidden on our campus, but we also know that it is our responsibility to see them, to honor them, and support them to self-sufficiency and graduation.
Any other witnesses in support?
Yes, Kim Lewis, representing the California Coalition for Youth, one of the co-sponsors of this bill, along with the National Association for the Education of Homeless Children and Youth and Housing California, which is here to speak. Thanks.
Thank you.
Andrea York on behalf of the Faculty Association of California Community Colleges. We are supportive in concept and look forward to working with the author moving forward. We have a long-standing position of support for increasing priority enrollment for disadvantaged communities. And just on a personal note, I'm incredibly moved by your testimony and wish you the best of luck.
John Bowders, Policy Director at Housing California, co-sponsor of this legislation, and the only thing I would add is that the cost of homelessness is much greater if we don't allow for proper interventions at an early stage, and education is one of the easiest ways to prevent homelessness as an adult. So we ask you to urge your support.
Frank Meck, I'm the Executive Director of the County Welfare Directors Association. My members administer the foster care system. This is a bill that affects an equally disadvantaged population, and we've seen the success that programs like this have with foster youth, and we expect the same kinds of successes with this measure, so we'd urge your support.
Independence Taylor. My mom tried to go back to school repeatedly over the years, but had a hard time doing so because of lack of funding and issues with our unstable housing, and so I support this bill.
Grace Loescher with Tubman House, and in alliance with C.C. McDonald and the rest of our brilliant youth, we are in firm support of this bill.
Mr. Chairman, Christy Baumer, representing the California Federation of Teachers, pleased to be in support of this bill.
Justin Selnick from the California Community Colleges, Office of the Chancellor, and we don't have a position on the bill yet, but we recognize the importance of the issue, and we'll continue to work on it as it goes forward.
Any witnesses in opposition? Members of the committee. Mr. Bloom, would you like to close?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have so many things to be thankful for and proud of here in the state of California, but the fact that nearly 1 in 5 of our nation's homeless live in California is not amongst them. This bill is a number of small steps forward. The bill that you voted on and passed out of committee earlier is another step forward, and I urge your vote, your aye vote.
I want to thank the author for bringing it forward and thank the witnesses for being with us here today. The motion by Ms. Weber, second by Mr. Levine. The motion before us is due pass to Human Services Committee. Madam Secretary.
Medina,
Aye.
Medina, I. Baker, Bloom,
Aye.
Bloom, I. Chavez, Harper,
No.
Harper, no. Irwin, Irwin, I. Jones Sawyer, Jones Sawyer, I. Levine, Levine, I. Linder, Lowe, Santiago, Weber, Weber, I. Williams, Williams, I.
7-1, the bill passes out of committee. I'll leave it open for absent members.
Thank you.